And so many of us become mothers and try to define ourselves as mothers when we haven't defined ourselves as women. And so many of us as women think that the way we need to define ourselves is by becoming a mom. The key is woman. What is the anatomy of the woman? And how do we define ourselves as women? Because whether we give birth to children or not, all women are mothers. We birth ideas. Everything we say out of our mouth can come into being. How we stand in the world, we're birthing all the time.
But you and I both know that there are women who have children in their homes, and they say that is beautifully put in that Iyanla Vanzant way. But they believe that womanhood, 49% of the survey, womanhood is somehow linked to motherhood. By the way, men are never asked that question, I know that. But we ask each other this question if we're being honest here.
Well, again, that's an old way of thinking, and it used to be that women had to stay home, they couldn't go outside and work. It used to be that women had to wear corsets and, chastity belts. So we get to create how we're defining it in this way in time. And again, every woman understood that she had two wombs, the one in her pelvic area and the one in the middle of her head. This is a womb. And what if we begin to use our words to birth the things that we want and really understand that who we are as women, who we are as divine energy and divine beings, we're birthing all the time. And we can choose how to define ourselves as women and as mothers.
I want to bring our panel back in, Mallory, Kimberly, Michelle, and Diane. And Iyanla, we had a very civil and peaceful conversation, but we know that it gets real judgy. I mean, the two moms here happen to be moms who work in the home. I've seen moms who work out of the home judge moms like this. And then we have two, beautiful women here who decided right now, or maybe never, on the journey of child. We know these conversations get heated between friends who are women when you start, poking at things. Why do we still fight over this? Because we do.
Well, note to file, most of us are men in skirts, meaning that we live our lives based on the parameters and the definitions and the restrictions that men have laid upon us. And what we are given an opportunity to do right now is we get to redefine that. We get to redefine who we are, how we stand, how we be, what we stand with, on, and for. And that's what the new century, the 21st century is all about. But it's going to take us being willing to lay down some of those learned behaviors, bad behaviors, and some of the beliefs and the restrictions that men put upon us to keep them safe.
Someone asked me how do I define womanhood, and I didn't know how to define it. I said I don't have a definition to it. Yeah. And then I thought, maybe I'm supposed to.
Well, I think that's the problem, Tammy. So many of us define who we are as women by what we do, as opposed to recognizing and understanding how we be. Now, I'm not going to give you a definition. I think that is a homicide for every woman watching this. How do you define woman? What is the anatomy of a woman? And what makes us so powerful and beautiful and life-giving and different? Mom or not mom? And it's important because even as moms, when we don't have our woman defined, it's hard for us to initiate our daughters into womanhood. Instead, we teach them what to do. We don't teach them how to be. So I'm not going to find it. That's homework.
I just got goosebumps on that one. Mallory, I asked Michelle, what will she do after the kids are gone? And my team said, well, what about Mallory? What about Kimberly? Do you think about life if you don't? There's a Bonnie Raitt song, it's one of my favorite songs, Scared to Run Out of Time. And, I know we don't like to say the biological clock ticking and all those things. I was through multiple rounds of IVF at 49, and I'm now a 100-year-old mom. But it does tick on you, it does. And so, Mallory, do you think about what if you decide and time is not on your side?
Yeah, absolutely. This is actually a huge thought that's it used to be always in the forefront of my mind, but I saw that it started to drive some decisions to stay in relationships that had reached past their expiration point. And so at that point, I had to accept that, whether motherhood, as far as raising children, as far as if that happens for me or doesn't happen for me, what's meant to be will be. and I need to stop putting this pressure, because that pressure only causes stress, which is actually blocking me from the woman experience that I'm meant to be having right now.
I love that. And Kimberly, you have made the point of something I said before I had Moses. I was the best and am the best aunt in the world. They are my children and were my children. And everything that I'm pouring into Moses, I poured into Isaiah, Maya, Gianna, and Layla. And that, bro, it takes a village. It takes all kinds of women.
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to reiterate, Tim, and that I have enormous respect for the work of motherhood, especially at this historic moment. I think that I'm probably not meant to be the primary adult, but I can be a heck of a good backup adult. And like, I think that my role at this point in time and moving forward can be to alleviate some of the burdens off of the other mothers in my life.
Register today for the Love Like Women's Conference at Joyce Meyer.
Feel free to think on them too, but sometimes things will pop up later. This is self, personal. Yeah, she would say personal. So. Crisis. No, seriously, I was just gonna say that I haven't heard anybody say anything positive or anything in between, negative. It's all been positive stuff, so that's interesting too, so that lets you guys know where your heads are. But later, after you say your positive thing, if a negative thing pops in, feel free to share that too, so like, identity crisis, that's the real thing.
You said identity crisis, and I first thought experience.
Yeah, I like that.
That's from a personal experience.
Okay, well, thank you for that therapy. Healing. Expressive.
Crying.
Yeah, I like this one.
Stay right.
I thought someone said parents, so what about the next word, family?
Generational curses.
Yeah.
It's like self-defined.
Okay. What about future?
Scary.
Our first thought was bright.
Womanly, what qualities make a woman woman?
Being gracious.
Independence.
Authentic.
Resilience. Confidence.
Wise. Again, like she said, I think it's like an undefined type of thing. Like whatever it is that you think it is what it is.
Gentle. Caring. Passionate. Loving.
Forgiving.
Kind-hearted.
Poise.
Nurturing.
I don't know, I guess when you become a woman, you become more motherly, with or without kids. You become more like.
That's funny she said that and she wasn't here for the video.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, The video was by, who was it by? Yeah, and they attacked that. They talked about how, womanhood and motherhood have become synonymous.
Well, I don't have any kids, but recently I made this personal stuff. I had a cocktail for a camp.
That's what I really
That's why she said, why?
So to me, I feel like womanhood, it is a motherly sense because I'm 26, but if I was 24, I probably would have did it. I was still like finding myself, still being selfish, but I have more confidence. I know I can speak up for myself. I know right from wrong. So I made that decision to say like, I see you're struggling as a parent, but I can help you out and take that pressure off and step up as a mother figure.
Yeah, definitely. As a woman that is headed to her 50s, without kids, without ever being married, I dare somebody to tell me that I'm not alone. I've gone through all of it, like every bit of it. The happiness, the joy of it, the beauty of it. My nieces and nephews definitely like went above and beyond what the auntie role was supposed to be.
It takes an emotional toll on you.
It definitely
I know.
does. And then when they got sick of me, then I became everybody's auntie.
She's somebody's client around here.
No, I have 17 nieces and nephews, so
Yeah.
my desire to have kids is out the window, but I'm very
Listen,
involved
same,
in kids.
same.
Yeah. Every time they do something, I'm like, Lord, just take my take the whole thing.
I think what I'm hearing too is around this is like women are very solution driven. I know like men are like, oh my goodness, but like we literally are like creative minds of actually always finding a solution at the end of the day. Period. Like
For me, I don't know, for other people, like, it doesn't matter to me. There has been times like my brother's been there or a man has been around, but I don't wanna feel like I'm bothering you or I'm an inconvenience. So if I ask you like, hey, can you change the light bulb? You're like, oh my God, like, don't worry, relax. I'm gonna do it myself. You know what I mean? I don't need you. I was just trying not to have to do it. But so it doesn't, the man could be there if not, I'm still gonna have that, don't need a man for nothing mentality.
for me, I feel like it's a slightly different area because in our case, we're caregivers for our dad. And I'm like, I know he can't do this by himself. So when we're out and about and all of his appointments, we take him in his wheelchair. When we take him in his wheelchair out, we put him back up. That thing is heavy. And I feel strong when I pick that thing. My mama told me, bend your knees. When I pick that thing, it's strong. But it's interesting to me because a lot of the times when I'm having to get the wheelchair out and put it back up,
So, just what are some of the different roles that you all personally have to play that make you feel like, oh, I'm kind of don't feel womanly, but I do feel like a badass?
I would say my grind, cause you know, like my daily, like the way I get it, you know.
Out the mud.
Yes.
Can you explain your grind to me more? Like, just what does that look like for you?
It looks like doing things even when I don't feel like doing them. It looks like hard work on a daily basis, sometimes 7 days a week. Just going hard for my own dreams.
Mine's kind of similar to hers. Like, I am very I work from home and stuff like that. But like, I mean, even today, perfect example, I am so busy that I do have days where I'm like, I do not want to put on a single thing of makeup. I'm gonna throw on whatever I can find. So I have let go of that like in the last 2 years or so as I've getting busier, like even like getting dressed up or putting on makeup or whatever, being like, I even try to catch myself saying like, oh my gosh, like, I didn't put this on or whatever, and just like, I'm still me regardless. I shouldn't have to dress if I have makeup on or anything like that. So just, I guess, I'm kind of just going to get it. That's part of like, going to get it is you don't have time to always do those things, so.
I would say being opinionated, and I personally don't think that that's not a feminine quality, but it is something that's, kind of, a lot of people do feel like you should suppress your opinion sometimes. Of course, as you evolve, you know how to do that in the right setting and the right times and stuff like that, but I've actually been there, like, little kickbacks and stuff where you have male and female, and they'll kind of convey that maybe when we're having a group conversation or something, that's something that they find that's not attractive, a woman who's too opinionated or too assertive or something like that. But a lot of times there too is a good balance, you know what I mean? It's not somebody who's being overwhelming, it's just that they have their own mind. Right. So I think as we evolve, that's changed a little bit, but definitely if you think about it, even from the older time, they didn't want women to speak. So yeah, I think that's
dependent for me means like, because I thought about that too. I'm like, I'm independent, but I'm very like, I don't care asking people for stuff, and I think that's something I got over. But even like, I usually do get driven around, and I don't get my own coffee in the morning and stuff like that. Like I'm dependent in that way, but I think my independency is my finances for me. Like in a relationship I enter in, I can leave tomorrow because I'm gonna have myself. So that's my independency, not really like going to take out the trash because first I have trash valet.